Call the meeting to order. It is 6:02 on June 16th. Architectural Review Board. Start with the roll call.
Mrs. Fraser?
Here.
Mr. Gillian?
Here.
Mr. Markovitz?
Here.
Mr. Midlick?
Here.
Mr. Sharma?
Here.
Do we have anyone here tonight that would like to speak that does not have a case on the agenda? Okay, then we can go ahead and start with the first case. That is case 220632. It is at 8054 Darrow Road, PPWC Child Care Center.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Joe Burdine. I'm with Sinorama in Macedonia. And we're proposing two signs, one a wall sign made out of 3mm ACM with digital prints applied, and you should have the proof in front of you there. The panel that we're putting up is actually the same size panel, a blank panel that's already existing there. So we're just going to put a new one in its place with the
On the building?
Yes, on the building, that one. It's going to be secured with 6 3/8" lag bolts into the wall, masonry lag bolts, and is approximately about 195 inches off the ground. So that is that one. Does anybody have any questions on that?
That used to be Red's place, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And then the other sign that's being proposed is a two-sided monument sign. It's already there. It's currently blank. We would just be doing 2 new faces for each side of that monument sign. And it's made out of the same material, 3mm ACM aluminum composite material with digital vinyl graphics applied. And that's about it.
I got a quick question.
Uh-huh.
You're not changing the size of the signs itself, right?
I'm sorry?
You're not changing the size of the sign?
No, the shape and the size and everything stays the same. Correct.
It's got an address on it, and I think it's good.
I'll make a motion to approve it as submitted.
I'll second it.
Okay, we'll call for a vote.
Mr. Midlick?
Yes.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mr. Gillian?
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Fraser?
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good evening.
Okay, our next case is case 220633. It is at 9630 Ravenna Road. Ashley Edwards Photography.
Hello, I'm Jeff Clark, Easy Sign, 9478 Ravenna Road, Twinsburg. We're proposing this,
This is really loud.
channel letter sign for a new photographer here in town. She's using that as studio space, and this signage matches the other signage on the building. Violet Orthodontics, podiatry, Valentino's, I believe. It's going to have, at night, the letters will glow around the edges, call a halo of letter, and then the black part will be lit internally.
The black part will be lit?
Yeah, internally, it'll be black with white letters.
Each letter Each letter of Ashley Edwards will be lettered,
Mhm.
and then the.
It glows around the edges. Looks
Right,
real
the
nice.
actual black doesn't light up and turn.
No, it's like,
No internal.
Right.
it's like light behind it. It
Yeah,
glows like a
it's like a
halo.
backlit halo. Okay.
Yeah. You've probably seen it and thought that looks good
Yeah.
of some other places, so.
Yeah. The only question I wondered is on the rendering that you have, if there's a gap between the soffit and the top of the letters. It's tough to tell. It looks like there might be 2 or 3 inches between the underside of the soffit.
I've got it.
Sorry, the underside of the soffit, the roof that sticks out there, and the tops of the letters. Is there a gap of several inches? Okay.
The second.
Okay. The one that we have is significantly larger than the one you have, the
Right,
sign.
yeah.
Okay, this is one where.
That's the
okay,
correct one, yes.
Okay.
How many inches would you like?
I would say 4 inches approximately.
That much? I'm sure there's gonna be that much, but I'll bring
Okay.
it back to.
Right, because otherwise if it's, right up against the
Yeah.
soffit, it just looks wrong.
Too
It looks like it
crammed
doesn't
in
quite
there.
fit, like
Yeah.
somebody bought a sign and it didn't quite fit.
And then the glow is middle and right, because it's gonna be jammed up against it.
Right, but I think you should make sure that there's enough space there. And I know with these renderings, somebody's photoshopping it on there
Yeah.
and taking their best guess. But you should measure and make sure that there's a gap. I'd say at least 4 inches top and bottom.
Okay.
6 or 8 might be even better, but you can scale the sign down as needed to make that fit. But I think the sign's fine at its current presented sign if it fits, or it could be slightly smaller to
Okay.
make that.
Yeah. That looks
Any other
good. Sure.
comments?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve it as noted, the note being that there should be approximately 4 to 6 inches minimum above and below the sign on the base of the building.
I'll second.
No.
Roll call.
Some,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, no, I was gonna, you want me to read back the notes?
Sure, could you
Okay.
back it up?
Approximately 4 to 6 inch minimum above and below sign on building.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll take a vote.
Mrs. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz?
Yes.
Mr. Gillian?
Yes.
Mr. Midlick?
Yes.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Our next case is case 220634. It is at 8275 Darrow Road, pet suite signage.
Hi, good evening. For the record, I'm Major Harrison with Major Source LLC, P.O. Box 18869, Cleveland, Ohio, 44118.
That's the line on the side. Address. Depends. We can make a suggestion.
So this is a sign and lighting package that we have.
That is correct.
We have 5 numbered signs on the site plan. The first ones are the paw print signs that are, I don't know which elevation it's saying.
It's on the front elevation,
Front elevation, okay.
facing Durham.
So one of them, they're both channel letters or channel shapes.
Yes, well, you have a set of internally illuminated channel letters reading Pet Suites, well, actually Suites, and Stay and Play. The paw print in that grouping on sign number 1 is kind of like a cabinet sign that's kind of rounded out to indicate the word pet in white so that everything kind of falls in line. If that makes sense.
So it says channel letter detail, and then on the elevation, you can see the masonry behind it. But then I see the box around it. I think that's just to dimension it, or is it
Yes.
actually a cabinet?
No, that's just to dimension it.
Just to dimension it, okay.
Yes, these are individual letters.
So all of these are individually mounted,
Correct.
but internally illuminated,
That is correct.
including the purple paw lights up too.
Yes, but that is more like a routed out, internally illuminated cabinet sign, if you will, okay? Because it's so intricate that they routed it out and backed it up with the white Lexan for the word pet, if you will.
Okay, is each of the toes,
Are illuminated.
those are individual?
Yes, they are.
Okay,
Yes.
there's nothing connecting all of that together.
No.
But the word pet is white
Correct.
inside of the purple cabinet.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah. We think it's a very unique look.
Yeah, it is.
Especially when it illuminates in the evening.
okay.
So these colors are pretty accurate to the way it's gonna look like once it's done?
Yes, that's correct. I mean, you have to, obviously allow for printer limitations, but yes.
Yeah. I think it was nice.
We approved the building last time.
Right, and I was going to ask or confirm, we have, on the left side, there's an image that looks like the profile of a dog playing with a ball.
Yes, that's a stencil, kind of like a piece of vinyl that is in that image. Yes.
Okay, and that is not part of this sign package.
Unfortunately, that we weren't given that to do.
Okay,
Okay, so I know what it is. I did ask about that just because I knew that this board would ask what it is.
right,
But from what my understanding is, it's a black outline stencil of a dog playing.
Yeah,
okay.
that might be cool.
And that's not part of this sign package, so I was just confirming that.
No,
Okay.
that isn't. I can only confirm what it is, but that's not part of the
Okay.
package that Major Source has submitted.
Okay.
Hey, Jen, if I may, when they came through for the building, it was on the building
Mhm.
itself. So it wasn't, I don't think, going to be part of the sign. It was just part of the building approval.
Okay.
I don't know if you
It
guys-
reminds me of the Kent State, whether the Starburst was a sign or if it was architecture.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
okay. Whether it's a sign or architecture, I don't know where they are on, allowable area for signage.
it won't interfere with the allowables.
Okay,
Yeah, they're good on our end with the building department.
okay. And then we have 3 more signs. We have a monument sign.
Correct.
It's on masonry base.
That's correct. Masonry base to match the building.
Is it all flush or does it have relief? Like, we have, the elevation of it, but we don't have the side elevation to see how it's,
It's flush. It's
It's
flush.
all
It's routed
flush.
out.
and about how thick is it?
Probably
Because it could
about
be a foot, it could be 3 feet, we have no idea.
18 inches.
It's 18 inches? Okay.
Just curious, what's the square foot of that
That's pretty
building?
big, isn't it?
Of the building?
Yeah, like, you know, like the size of your,
It's 10,930 some feet.
okay. That's a good size.
Didn't 18 inches go big?
18 inches for thickness? No.
Yeah. For a sign, like,
No, not for that kind of height. That's very slender.
Yeah, this is routed out and with LED illumination, so it can be slender.
Right, okay.
We don't have, this isn't incorporating fluorescent lamps in this. The days of, and Ms. Frazier, you are probably well aware, when we had cabinet signs, they were probably about 2 feet wide, in some cases maybe 30 inches wide. But technology has allowed us to slim things down a lot.
Where's it
Okay.
at?
What's the address on it?
Yeah, we should have the address.
Right.
So are we gonna make a
I
recommendation?
think it's down there somewhere.
Requirement.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
on
we've been doing it.
8275 Dale Road. It's down there.
So if you say recommendation, it's
Right where that red was then? Right where the last
Yeah,
sign
well,
was?
it's in that section kind of there.
We would require an address.
Car wash.
On the main
Oh,
street.
yeah.
I'd recommend, yeah, putting it on the masonry both
Somewhere
sides.
between
That's fine.
that.
Numerals,
Where
metallic, 4
Jer-
inches.
On that side though, on the same side.
Something like that.
I think it's on the other side.
Um,
Well, it might be on that side.
Do you know what color the masonry is?
It's
to match the building?
it's on a matching building.
And we're 10 foot back from the right of way on the placement of that, so that's what's needed for that. But as far as the height goes, Jason, are we within the
Yeah,
height
I don't think
limitations?
it would be anything, nothing would be in violation for the height of it.
Okay. Okay, and then we have a directional sign that's on a
We-
gray,
We have
Post.
two directional signs.
okay. It's on a gray rectangle. Is that a post? Is it a vinyl?
It's a post.
It's a,
It's
just
a
a metal?
post. Yes.
And it's a big, thick post that's, I mean, it's showing it about 6 inches wide.
I would guess that's probably about it.
Okay.
The square footage for that is only 3 square feet.
Is it double-sided?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's sign 4 and 5.
Fine. Basically just an entrance and exit sign. And as you're reaching a point of ingress, obviously to read what
Yeah.
it's pertaining to read, and then at the point of egress, it is going to be different.
Okay. It says copy TBD, to be determined, probably based on the client's preference. If it says thank
Yes.
you or exit,
Yes.
welcome or enter.
Yeah, I'll get further verification on that.
I would say all of those look appropriate, as long as they're facing the right directions and the arrows go the right way. So-
Yes, ma'am.
I'll make a motion to approve with the, annual numbers on the monument sign. And everything else looks good to me.
I'll second.
Minimum of 4 inches front and back.
I have address to be 4-inch metallic numericals on masonry of sign on both sides.
Sounds good. Call for a vote.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mr. Gillian?
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz?
Yes.
Mr. Midley?
Yes.
Mrs. Frazier?
Yes.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I would like to ask him a question. I don't know at what point I could ask him, but how many pets that your establishment will hold at one given time?
Unfortunately, I don't know.
He
He's just
represents the
he's
sign company.
Okay, good. You're the sign company? Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
What they say, like 60 pets?
It was either 60 or 80, I
Yeah,
thought
60 or 80 pets.
they said when they were.
Like a few months ago. It was
Okay.
like 60 or 80 pets. They got a dog with tails.
There's a lot of these coming
Okay. Just wondering, because I know people
They have
who
wait lists.
want to go on vacation and have no
Yeah.
place for their pets. So I was just-
Yeah,
It's-
I'm sorry, 5, 7 pets.
I know they said it was going to be hot.
Yeah, they do.
The
dog project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You never know, the people have more patience for the animals than they do fish sometimes.
Okay, our next case is case 220635. It is at 1700 Bridget Lane. It's a new residential home.
If I can ask everybody to make sure that they speak up, because with the AC unit blowing in here,
Yeah.
we did have a problem here in the record report last week, so you just make sure you're speaking in the microphone. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
How many more lots do you have there?
We have 2 more lots.
2 more?
This will be on one of those 2.
And
The one right on the
Red Shepherd corner, yeah. Yep. So it's our second to last lot, and we'll be building another model. Sold our current model, leasing it back, and so,
Yeah. Where are you heading next? Hudson?
I don't know where I'm headed. Probably Macedonia.
Macedonia, that right by Hudson though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Bellevue.
I've been watching that development, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm working back that way.
Oh, yeah.
I go to back way to go through Hudson. That's where my work's at mostly.
Okay, good.
Do you have a site plan for this?
Site plan?
Right, something that just shows us where we are. You said this is a corner
I
lot?
didn't bring one with me tonight, but yeah, it's right in the corner of Shepherd Road and Bridget.
Across the model.
Right. So the exposed corner is the right side or the left side?
It is the left side. I have a updated elevation of the Shepherd side.
Okay,
So
that'll be good to see.
scan that out. Because, yeah, that was a covered spot.
Would you do work around it?
Well, we just added some windows.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I only had 4. There's 5.
I thought you met the elevation.
Do you need one?
Yeah.
Because we can share one right there if you needed to.
Yeah,
We're used to that.
yeah, right.
Can I request that I get one of those and you guys are done with them? Just with
You can have my whole packet if you want. Put it all together for you.
There weren't a lot of windows on that side, and so we added a full window, and then the one transom window is actually a full window, or a smaller full window in the bathroom.
These aren't the colors, obviously, right?
No, colors are up there. These,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dark, it's called timber.
I think they're listed.
Yeah.
Charcoal-ish, charcoal color. And then wall white trim, the white gutters, white 6-inch corners, 3-4 all the way around. White garage door, white front columns. Shutters will be fine.
Is it saying you have 11-foot ceilings beyond on that elevation in those rooms?
Just in the great room and the foyer.
Okay, so not in those bedrooms where the windows are being placed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks good.
Do you have any comments?
No, I'm good.
I don't see anything that should be added.
I like to have windows everywhere. That's kind of what we require.
I like it.
Yeah, I like every changes close, so I have no problem.
Yeah, I wish I mean, that's a really big truss, a really long, unbroken expanse. I wish there was some relief. It had, element that broke that and took the scale down a bit. 'Cause that's a really big,
And that's facing Shepherd Road.
that's facing Shepherd Road, right? Like, is it the back bedroom? And I know that would be a decent change, but it would be a nicer looking design. If bedroom 2 extended out, 2 feet further left or something, and then you could have the roof return back down and give it a gable on the side and to help break up that elevation of it. 'Cause that's just, I don't know, it's gonna be a really long wall. It does have 2 windows on it. It's not a blank wall, but the percent of wall that's glass is very small.
That's the model. That's where that's sitting on
Yeah.
Shepherd like that right now.
Right. So this is similar in scale to that.
So, yeah. That's what, I mean, this one's just -1 window,
They changed the shape of the window from
so.
Yeah, the current model has 2 transoms in those bedrooms. They were.
and then you broke it though with, are those freeze boards? Like, or some belt boards that
so-
like break it?
The model had vertical siding,
Right,
so you have to break it every 10 feet.
yeah. Yeah, I gave it some more texture.
Yeah, I mean, we could break it, just maybe the last 6 feet and add shake with a 8-inch piece of trim.
Is that the elevation we're talking about there?
This is
That's
the-
existing model
yeah,
that's
existing
facing
model
Shepherd.
across the street from
Okay,
it.
yeah, that's not.
So, I mean, I guess this is basically the same thing, mirror image, right?
It's pretty close, yeah.
With
It's been extremely
a different
popular.
type of siding,
Yeah.
Put a front porch, the entry is different.
right?
The stairs are in a different spot than the other model.
It wouldn't help if we added like a fight pond type vent on top, near the top gable, just to add a
Is that
little bit
it?
something more to it.
Is that the language of
I don't know that.
I mean, again, I'd be okay with just breaking it the last,
Yeah.
5 or 10 feet, add an 8-inch trim to match the freeze board,
Yeah,
white trim, and then have shake above that. And
yeah.
regular siding below.
Yeah, you're trying to enhance instead of trying to make it look like you made a mistake with those when you do that.
Kind of makes it look a little bit like the front.
Yeah. Right. I mean, sometimes it does have to compromise or something.
Right. Right, there's shake on the front. David?
I'm fine with what we got.
Okay.
I don't see anything that jumps out or looks bad.
That's your motion? That's your motion?
Oh, is that my motion? Yeah, sure, I'll make a motion to approve it as submitted.
I'll second it.
I can do that.
All right, thank you.
With the vote.
Oh, you have, yeah, sorry.
All right, there's no other comments, we'll call for a vote.
Mr. Markovitz?
Yes.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mr. Gillian?
Yes.
Mr. Midlick?
Yes.
Mrs. Frazier?
Yes.
And I'll take your suggestion and we'll look at doing something there. So, if you drive by it and it has a little extra shade.
That's a nice little spot. That's,
Sounds good.
that's,
Thank you.
is there any other builder in there? That's somebody owns
Jason,
the lots in there?
you need this?
Outside of you?
If I could have at least 2 of them, so.
I'll put it on my packet.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Carno didn't sneak in there? Paul didn't sneak in there? Carno?
He's got his hands full. Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I'm by that, this new lots. Apparently they're gonna be it for some of it. He's right on that border in Macedonia. It's in the Twinsburg area. It's off of Valley View.
Okay, our final case of the evening is case 220636. It is at 2035 Glenwood Drive. It's a residential addition.
Hello, my name's Greg Noeth. I'm the architect. I'm representing the homeowner, Dwight Smith. My address is 1790 Saratoga Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio. What we're doing is, in addition to probably an 80-plus-year-old home, the second floor has 1 bathroom and 2 bedrooms, and you literally have to bend your head to use the toilet and use the bathroom. It's in the front of the house. So we're raising the front of the front elevation with a dormer awning across the front. And that side where the picture is the patio, like three-season room. That's their current front door. The house has been added to so many times that now we're going to put a front door on the street elevation, rotated around to the front of the home. That foundation in that three-season room is not adequate. It's cracked, and there's some water problems over the last 40 years. So that foundation, we're going to have to hold up the second floor and redo the foundation. Going to match the rock that's on there with a cast rock that'll be on the cement block unit, and new siding and new shingles. The homeowner has picked the pewter gray. Originally they were going to go black, but then I gave them the sample boards, and they went with the pewter gray, three-dimensional by GAF. And for the siding, instead of what you see all over the place, the 4-inch vinyl siding, there's a new product out by Ascend, which is a composite blank that has the 7-inch spacing like the current house does, which I was pushing for rather than to go with the 4-inch. Changes the whole look of the home. So all the siding is aluminum, will be ripped off, and this new composite beyond. And they are looking, instead of white, they went with the sterling gray. So it'll be the sterling gray siding with the pewter gray shingle right here.
What color trim?
The trim on the windows are all white now, so we would leave the white.
Okay, the windows will be white?
Yes.
Vinyl or wood?
What they currently are, yes. I believe there were vinyls.
And that's the whole house is gonna be re-roofed and re-vinyl.
Yeah, because we're already tearing the side off and the front off, so we might as well do the other side and the back. And the garage is attached. And there's moss growing on the current roof, so it's about time.
I was wondering when that was. That's the second house on the left if you're going to the tracks.
The
just
slope
before you
you're
got
talking
behind.
about.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, you know,
It's
just
got
across
lower
from the
slope.
The one that
bike
got
path.
renovated?
Yeah.
I mean, is the whole roof gonna be lowered, the slope? The pitch of the roof?
Yeah, we're gonna.
What's that?
Keep that 12
One way.
There's been a lot of
Dude,
renovation on that.
hey, sir, do you mind speaking into the microphone? Appreciate
We're
it.
going to keep the 412 pitch.
Okay. So it's staying at 412?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
When they built the old three-season room, they were off by 2 feet. The foundation is 2 feet to the back of the house.
Yeah.
And the roof is 2 feet to the front, towards the street.
That's nice.
I don't know why that happened, but.
Cross-eyed builder?
Yeah. Or what he took home.
Yeah.
No, that's very odd.
And Final Touch will be doing the work.
Yes.
I worked for them. I know they do good work.
Yeah.
Especially for the owner, right?
Yep.
You're a Maverick, that's
Okay, I think it's in proportion, it's in good proportion for the house.
yeah, I agree.
It was a hard problem because it's been added to so many times.
Yeah.
And to try to make it look like a piece, you know what I mean?
Right.
A solid unit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you look at it, it doesn't jump out as, here's the addition and here's the original house.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve it as, I'm guessing, submitted.
Yes.
I'll second.
Did you say you seconded?
I did.
Okay.
Call for a vote?
Mr. Midley,
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz,
Yes.
Mr. Gillian,
Yes.
Mr. Sharma,
Yes.
Mrs. Frazier.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. It's nice to see over the last 10 years how many, almost every house has been addressed with some additions and porches and stonework. It's a nice street when you drive down it. Nice trees. Yeah, I know.
think they're maybe plant nice trees on the opposite side of the street.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way that guy could not put that blue dye in his pond. right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it's pretty harmless.
I don't know what happened
It's
with,
fed right off the creek.
they call it liquid shade. I don't know what happened. The other guy on the other side of the tracks, that pond used to be crystal clear.
Yeah.
I don't know what, the ponds in the woods in Center Valley Park are all covered in algae now. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. The algae came quick on some of the ponds this year,
Yeah.
but that's fed right off the creek anyway, right? The pond.
I don't know, actually. Well, sometimes the one on this side, when Tinker's Creek floods, sometimes it washes in there.
Yeah.
But it's really not supposed to get up that high over to the one on the other side.
Right. Okay.
Okay, we have the minutes from June 2nd to review and approve. I noticed one thing, on case 1, which was case 220418 on Darrell Road, the orthodontist office, in the motion, number 2 said the option to add blackboard for the soldier course above the windows. I think that was the option to change the soldier course to black brick.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing I noted. I mean, a blackboard, they talked about an awning possibility, that she had considered putting an awning there.
Yeah.
Which we said would have been fine too, but they took it out for cost. And so
Yeah.
I think that was what it was supposed to read, was black brick.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's black brick below, if I remember right, or on the,
No, it was all white brick. Everything was white brick, but there were black awnings,
Oh,
and there were
okay.
black
That's right. It was all
soffits,
white.
and there were, black coping.
I was thinking there was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a trendy thing now, black. I think they're going to
Black and white, I know. It's gonna be the buildings of the 20s.
It's going to be, it's going to be,
That was built in the 20s, with black windows.
yeah.
Black and white photography's coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my only comment on it. Does anyone else have a comment on the minutes?
I'm fine with them.
I'll make a motion to approve with the changes.
I'll second. I'll second, sorry.
We have a second, and then you have that it should say black brick, not
I have
blackboard.
noted black brick, not blackboard.
Okay. All right, we'll call for a vote.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mr. Gillian?
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz?
Yes.
Mr. Midley?
Yes.
Mrs. Frazier?
Yes. Okay, everyone's here tonight. Does anyone else have anything else they want to talk about on record?
No.
We got a doozy coming from Old Mill Road eventually, right?
Eventually, it depends how long it takes them to design it, whether they've already designed it, we'll see it very soon, or if they are now going to find their architect and begin their design. I don't know where they are in their process, how much of a gamble they took on it.
Where? Up on Old Mill, the
Old Mill,
big to-do everyone's in an uproar about. They cleared all the trees.
it's whether they're putting in commercial development on what's currently mostly a residential street.
That was actually by the.
And there's a whole,
Yeah.
there have been protesting people, it's been a big deal in council right now, but
Yeah.
So it's gonna come to us now?
once they design the building. And I was just saying, it just depends how long, where they are in the process, how much of a risk the developers took on doing a design before it's approved versus if now they will begin the design, it could be
Right.
a year before we see it.
So council approved it for residential commercial?
Well, it's, our side is commercial, the other side is
Yeah.
the township,
It'd
and
be
it's
nice to have an
residential.
opinion on it, though.
So is it
We've done
township
that
residents
before.
that are the, oh, it's not
Most,
city
I mean,
residents?
I'm sure there are some city, but everybody pretty much on the other side of the road is all township.
Oh, that makes it even more complicated.
Yeah, and if you talk to old Twinsburg people, they're still mad they put 480 through there
Yeah.
because all their ponds dried up and
Yeah.
their springs dried up.
Yeah.
They had,
Oh.
yeah.
And
if-
some
When
got created
was
too.
that must have been in the
when I-
80s or
Yeah.
90s or
No,
something?
that was probably like in the 60s, I think.
Yeah.
60s, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that
I've
was,
always heard about
but they
that.
still complain about it.
Yeah.
They
But they're
still
not
moan
around
and
anymore
groan.
now, most of them aren't, I would think.
We got
But
using
people
480
like to
every day.
complain. Yeah, you either create them or you lose them. It's development.
Like old mill, trying to see where it's at.
I did see a
Old
lot of
Mill
logging
191.
over there.
Or CVS, yeah.
Somebody's logging of the trees.
Oh, clearing them already.
Well, at least that's what I'm thinking of, and I think it was today. It says
Well, they could clear trees as long as, I don't know if Twinsburg has, you have to get a permit to clear a certain number of trees or a certain
It's a
size.
certain size of land there, but they have had to get them cleared because of the, I think it's the Michigan bat or some type of bat that,
From what I understand.
That was like a preservation.
yeah, you can't do it certain times of the year, so.
Oh,
Army Corps of Engineers.
I'm ready to-
all kinds of
Adjourn?
stuff.
Yeah.
Fine, it's not gonna-
That's my motion, I'm ready to go home.
I'll second
You second it?
I think it's Ms. Walker.
What kind of commercial buildings are put over there?
Mr. Midlick,
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz,
Yes.
Mr. Gillian,
Yes.
Mr. Sharma,
Sure, yes.
Mrs. Fraser, adjourn.
yes.
I don't know.
Adjourn?
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Sometimes at
Okay,
work.
we're adjourning the meeting, it is
Sometimes at our work, it's like-
6:44.